Northeastern Region, Mohammed Birik, Regional Coordinator of Education. Northeastern, Mr. Yusuf Gilo, the County Commissioner for Wajir County, Leyford Kibara, the senior government officials present here, our development partners, members of the Fourth Estate, representatives of various media houses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am standing here extremely pleased and on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Ambassador Dr. Amina Mohammed, and I want to express my pleasure and honor to join you today to mark the 52nd International Literacy Day celebrations. This day is set aside to focus on awareness creation of literacy in human development following the World Conference of Education of Ministers that was held in Tehran, Iran in 1965. This celebration brings together governments, multilateral and non-governmental organizations, the private sector, communities, educators, and learners to promote literacy awareness and take stock of its impact to the wider realm of socioeconomic development. This year's theme is literacy for skills development, and this theme seeks to challenge communities to participate in socioeconomic development through multi-literacies. To achieve our socioeconomic development agenda as outlined in the Vision 2030, Sustainable Development Goals, the ongoing educational reforms, and the Big Four agenda, as well as the provision of appropriate literacy skills and competencies, all this should be given high priority and competence. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has made great strides in its efforts to eradicate illiteracy. Notable among them is the free primary education and the free day secondary education programs. Other initiatives include the Kenya constitutional provision that every person has a right to education, that every child has a right to free and compulsory basic education. Although free primary education has been a major factor in raising the literacy rates in this county, it may not be possible to eradicate illiteracy in the foreseeable future due to lapses in illiteracy, among other factors. It is against this background that the African nations, during the Pan-African Conference on Education, which was held in April 2018 in Nairobi, committed to promoting quality lifelong learning for all and at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, studies which have been carried out throughout the world show that there is close correlation between literacy rates and the Human Development Index. Countries that have higher literacy rates also enjoy higher Human Development Index. Some parts of our country also show the same. Counties in the arid and semi-arid areas continue to lag behind in literacy rates. Collectively, the illiteracy rates in the Northeastern region are as high as 80%, although not uniformly spread in all the counties. The literacy rate in Wajir County is between 10 and 15%. The current enrollment of 1,341 males and 1,297 females is insignificant in addressing the problem of illiteracy in the county. As a region, there is need, therefore, for a concerted stakeholder effort to correct this situation. The choice of Wajir as the venue of the National Literacy Day celebration is an indication that the Ministry of Education is committed to invest further in creating the needed awareness on the prevailing literacy situation in the county and in all the ASAL regions. The Ministry of Education will therefore continue to collaborate with partners with a view to addressing illiteracy in this region and other parts of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the findings of the last National Literacy Survey, which was conducted in the year 2007, gave a national literacy rate of 61.5%. The UNESCO Institute for Statistics places Kenya's literacy rate among people who are aged 15 and above at 78.7%. We therefore still need to marshal and pool our resources and efforts to move towards achieving 100% literacy among our youth and 80% among the adult population by the year 2030, as envisaged in the goal of the SDGs. In this regard, the Ministry of Education will engage with the National Treasury for additional funding to carry out the literacy survey to enable the country have reliable and accurate data on literacy rates. The Ministry of Education, through the competency-based curriculum, envisages forging linkages between adult and continuing education programs and vocational training. Partnership among the national and county governments, local and international NGOs in the county can make literacy provision meaningful and productive by equipping the learners with functional and employable skills. Already, the county government of West Pokot has employed 264 adult education instructors, and I encourage other county governments to come up with similar initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, my ministry has put in place a number of measures geared towards addressing the challenges facing effective implementation of adult and continuing education programs. These challenges include limited learning venues, inadequate number of trained instructors, scarce teaching and learning resources, lack of means of transport to coordinate and supervise the programs, and stigmatization of ACE. In light of these challenges, the ministry, through the National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya, NACONEC, has been able to put in place a number of programs and activities in the ASAL regions to improve access, quality, and relevance of education. These include development of a legal and policy framework and mobilization of additional resources in ACE. The ministry will further engage with the Ministry of Public Service to ensure recruitment of additional staff, improve infrastructure, and provide more instructional materials to enhance implementation of AC programs. Our partners, who include faith-based organizations, NGOs, and associations such as CALA, have been promoting literacy and education through madrasas and duksis, adult education centers, and community learning resource centers. These joint efforts are acknowledged and supported fully by the Ministry of Education. My message to all of us is to have harmonized and integrated multi-sectoral approaches that continue to build partnerships, to build synergies, minimize wastages, and deliver expected outcomes in ACE, especially in the ASAL regions and other disadvantaged areas. Further, to increase access and participation in the national examinations by youth and adult learners, the ministry has put measures in place to ensure that this category of learners also enjoy waiver of examination fees. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to brief you on the forthcoming national examinations. All preparations for this year's national exams have been finalized. We were able to add some more containers in some regions in order to reduce the distance. All those charged with the responsibility for examinations management need to be vigilant in order to deliver credible examination results. The integrity of the examinations must be safeguarded at all costs. We need to endeavor to have zero tolerance to examination cheating and irregularities. Teachers, parents, and stakeholders in this sector need to assure our children who are candidates that hard work does pay. It is therefore the duty of teachers to complete their syllabus in time to instill confidence in candidates as they prepare for their examinations. Candidates are often tempted to cheat in the examinations when they are ill prepared for them. The ministry is determined to continue maintaining quality and standards in examinations management. Ladies and gentlemen, parents and teachers have a major role to play in molding and inculcating positive values and virtues in their children during the formative years as one way of preventing indiscipline cases in our schools. This year, we witnessed cases of indiscipline in our schools, such as violence and burning of those facilities. This must stop. As a ministry, we shall ensure the full force of the law is applied to those who are found culpable. We are happy to report that there were no incidents of school unrest reported in Wajir County. The school boards of management, the Parents Association, and the Students' Council have to be given a chance to play their role and students introduced to civilized ways of airing their grievances for amicable resolution. The Ministry of Education continues to give infrastructure support to schools in Northeastern region with a total of 59 million disbursed to secondary schools in this region in the last financial year. Adult education centers should be utilized as avenues for equipping parents with parenting skills and positive attitudes towards shaping the character of their children to enable them grow up as responsible and productive citizens. It is against this background, ladies and gentlemen, that the competency-based curriculum lays emphasis on parental education and engagement. I appeal to all parents, guardians, and teachers to play their respective roles in the learners' growth and development, and not to abdicate this role to teachers who are also parents in their own right. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to thank the national and the county organizing committees for having put in place all the arrangements that have made this day a great success. I also wish to thank different directorates, stakeholders, corporates, and private parties which, in one way or the other, supported the organization of this day. In a special way, I want to acknowledge the efforts of the county government of Wajir through His Excellency the Governor and his entire team for supporting and accepting to host this event. Last but not least, I can't forget to recognize and thank the owners of this day, who are the learners, for making the day so eventful and colorful through different performances, music, and dance. May the Almighty God bless us all. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki na awalinde.